So, where we last left our heroes, they have been spending a little bit of time in the town of Oasis. They've got themselves signed up for the War Games, a tournament hosted by the God of War and apparently co-hosted by Solomon Liebentod, the God of Undeath. They met up once again with Tom and the Wandering Weasel and spent a good chunk of time just hanging out in there and trying to get their thoughts straight when Solomon himself came marching into the bar, demanding an audience with Tom. Shenanigans ensued as T-Wig got to know you a little bit better, you being Solomon's, let's just say yes man, Smithers's drow. And as the night wore on, the party decided to just spend the rest of their evening there at the Wandering Weasel. And we rejoin them within as we prepare for the opening ceremonies of the War Games. So, as we last left Wolfgang and Asmo, they are currently frozen in the rejuvenating hot tub, which is now completely solid.
Walk.
As Solomon re-robed himself and walked out of the room. Meanwhile, back at the bar, T-Wig, you've just been hanging out with you, and everybody else has basically left. Pip has come down to help start cleaning up, and Tom is still there, like, just getting everything back in order as Solomon walks out. He kind of looks around the area and eyes Tom. You know, I do have a limited amount of time here. Like, it's valuable to me. He kind of, like, glances over at T-Wig and you sitting at the bar.
And then I said, that's not a rock, that's a sapling.
I don't quite understand. You looks over at Solomon. Sir. And Solomon actually kind of, like, wanders over to you, T-Wig. Just kind of glances at you, and like he's got a slightly befuddled look on his face as he's looking at you. You're still in your Dragonborn form, right?
Yes, I am, yeah.
What's kind of like he's swirling his finger, kind of like as if to like encompass you in his field of vision. What's your deal?
Hello, my name is T-Wig. It's nice to meet you. And I extend my hand.
Uh-huh. He sees Denier, you're still sitting at the bar over there. Kind of next, just sitting by Lush. I take it you're with them.
With it? Yeah, I am.
Why are there two of you? No, actually, no, that's not right. It's like there's one of you, but then the other one is not there. What the fuck are you?
Like I scratched the back of my head a little bit. It's like, how do I explain this in a way that makes sense? Hold on, there's something I read that explained it. One second, and I just started thinking a little bit. It's like, we fly together high and free. I follow you, you follow me. We touch the moon, we touch a star, and daylight's end is yet so far. Like two birds in the open sky, unbreakable souls, you and I.
He stares at you blankly, just like... You literally just told a god a riddle.
Like that, right?
Alright, clearly you don't fucking know. Alright. He points over at Tom. You got 5 minutes. And he walks back through the curtain.
I look back towards you. That was the only way I knew how to explain it, though.
I don't know what he was talking about. I've never seen him like that.
Oh, he's probably just talking about us.
I guess.
Maybe I should talk to him later about it. Maybe get a more defined, well, He's the first person to see us this way, I suppose.
Maybe.
He's got senses that are beyond normal, T-Wig.
So do I, though. But not like that.
Should I ask him?
I mean, he seems like he's gonna have a meeting pretty soon, so he's probably super busy.
He does seem to be.
But if he's up for it, sure.
Yes, I'll try that. At this point, Tom removes his apron and just kind of like makes a subtle comment to Pip, kind of like points around some areas that probably need to be touched up, and he starts walking back and goes past the curtain that's next to you guys into the back rooms. You can hear him kind of like walking up the same stairs that Solomon walked up. So you're gonna be in the tournament?
Us? Yeah.
Do you know what it's like?
Leaning forward. Nope, not at all.
I know parts are different every time. But I know that a lot of things die. Like a lot of them. You don't do that.
I will do my best, but I cannot make any promises.
Right. Well, do your best.
Yeah, I will. And you too, okay? Definitely try and have a good talk with your dad.
I will. My dad.
Sometimes people don't understand how much they're liked until someone really tells them.
He kind of nods silently. I think I understand.
And just give him a smile.
He doesn't smile back. He doesn't really seem to like show much emotion on his face at all. Kind of looks like he processes everything very stoically.
Out of character. I feel that not being able to emote is really hard. Anyway, I should go, probably go catatonic for a little bit. That's
Yes.
the word, right?
Yes. Creatures normally sleep. And it is...
Yeah, they normally do.
Yes.
And I do, like, finger crossbows, and I walk away, and I turn to Daenerys, I go, do we have, like, a room in this place?
I assume that we do.
You can hear Pip. You can hear Pip from the corner of the room. Kind of like wave at you.
Oh. Does he point me in the right direction?
He waves you over to him, and he starts
walk
to walk behind the bar as he pulls out a book. Starts flipping through it. He sees that Wolfgang, Asmo, and Daenerys have signed it. And then he flips another page and hands you a quill.
Oh, ooh. Gosh, I've only read books. I haven't written one. Is there like a signing area, like a little?
Yeah, you can judge based on the pattern on this page that you're looking at that it looks to be somebody's signature. And
I will,
yeah.
Like an engraving machine, I will just hold the pen above and just like do like a whole like piston like thing and write down just T-Wig in the most robotic way possible.
Pip is kind of mesmerized as you like dash and dot your way through your signature.
There you go.
And he reaches below the counter and he hands you a key. It appears to have a number at the top of it. Or actually, it's I mean, there is a number at the top, but just above that looks to be a kind of like a crystal of sort. And
Okay,
as he points at it, the crystal slowly begins to, like, glow. And you can see the light of the crystal kind of shifting to one side of the key, and it seems to be pointing you towards the exit of the bar, the curtain that everybody else walked through to get behind it.
Ah, I get to go to the curtain place. Thank you so much, Pip. See you later, Denier. And I just start walking towards the curtain.
Rest well, T-Wig.
As I walk, do I hear Wolfgang and Asmo in the bathroom?
Let's see. I'd need you to roll a perception check. I know your normal perception is pretty high, but they're a decent bit away. So I'll just make this an active roll.
That'll be a 12.
I'm going to say you don't hear them struggling to break themselves from the ice.
Damn it. I'll never get to utilize my fucking third cantrip ever.
Aw.
Alright, I'll make my way to the room and just, like, sit down and start going into, like, a meditative state.
Alright, as you walk, the key begins to, like, the light shifts at the top of the key to kind of, like, point you in a direction. And as soon as you're in front of the door, it turns off. However, as you are walking up the stairs, walking down the first hallway that seems to lead to kind of like a T, where more rooms kind of stretch out, you hear a distinct humming noise coming from one of the first doors, or one of the center doors in the hallway as you're walking towards that T intersection.
How, and is it like an ambient humming or like someone's like humming?
It's an ambient sort of.
It's coming from a door.
Yes.
Can I peek?
You can attempt to look into the keyhole, I suppose.
Sure, I will attempt to peek. Is that gonna be another perception, I assume?
Yes.
15.
All right, as you look through the keyhole, like you're getting a bit of a sense of this room, but it's hard to quantify what's actually in it. It's like this swirling mass of energy on the other side. Like you see these colors just kind of swirling and pulsing around, almost in kind of like a neo-helix sort of spectrographic fashion.
That looks very important and very fragile. I stand up, make a note of it, and I'm going to continue on my way. I don't want to mess with that. That seems magically important.
Probably correct. You continue on your way, and eventually it leads you to the door that you were looking for. The thing turns off, and the number matches.
I will go in, and I find a corner of the room, and I will just like sit down, drop the disguise, sit down.
What do you imagine a optimal room for T-Wig looks like?
Oh geez.
I just think of Bender's closet house from Futurama so much right now.
I would say like, I mean, I don't really have a good comparison point. Probably like Wolfgang's, whatever room Wolfgang has in his house.
It looks very similar to the sort of sitting room / library you've grown accustomed to in Wolfgang's. There are a couple of imperfections, things that like definitely make you realize that it's not his place. But these imperfections are very homey to you. Like instead of some of the old oaken shelves, instead it appears to be these shelves kind of growing out of a tree, like a living tree. There are kind of vines crisscrossing everywhere. And as you look up, you see the open night sky.
What? That's so cool. What good interior designing.
And from there you can go into your meditative state as you see fit.
Yeah.
Denier, you're still down in the bar as you has gone back over and coalesced with the rest of the drow that are still just kind of standing in random places, not really doing much of anything. They look really awkward, like 11-year-old boys at their first school dance, kind of awkward.
Oh man, there's so much dancing in place, isn't there?
Yeah, they kind of like shift from foot to foot every now and again.
How low are the knees bobbing? Like we.
You continue sitting at the bar. Lush she's been pretty quiet since her conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
And Eska has grown tired of doing everything Eska had been doing and has just kind of wrapped himself back around your neck and gone in for a nap.
All right, good deal. For what it's worth, Lush, I enjoy the times that we can just sit and talk with each other when I visit the Weasel.
They're pleasant. You're a good cat man.
No. Thank you, Lush. And Denier will slowly stand up. I'll see you in the morning, I suppose. He gives a little bit of a smile.
Suppose you will. Hey.
Be good.
Kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Try not to die tomorrow.
You know me. I'm going to do the absolute best I can to keep both myself and the rest of them alive.
She kind of smirks. All right, go get your rest.
Yeah, besides, I got a job to do anyway, remember? He gives a smile and he wanders over towards the drow real quick. Sorry for bothering you lot. By all means, you don't have to, just stand around. Have a seat at a table if you're waiting for your boss.
As you approach them and upon speaking your first word to them, it's like your eye, like all of their eyes glowing a slightly dull red look up toward you. It feels like you're being looked at by an entire murder of crows. Like they've got you surrounded. Everybody except you, who looks up. I mean, yeah, they're really on the job.
Yeah, I can kind of get that. This isn't the first interaction I've had with, the boss man and everybody. I get it. Just, trying to be nice and all.
You nods. Mm. He looks back at them. They're all still just giving you this glare, this are you a target? Are you my enemy kind of stare. They're also hard to explain, but it'll be more evident later. Just yeah.
I get it. Basically, they're the boss man's honor guard. I can get that.
Something like that. You kind of just nods.
Yeah, I figured. Nonetheless, you and I still need to have a talk eventually. I got some stories to tell you about some stuff I've seen. But you have a good rest of your night, all right?
Yes.
And Denier will head upstairs towards the room that he's had. And he will begin to, he will attempt to scribe comprehend languages into his spellbook.
All right. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check.
Intelligence or Arcana?
Arcana, sorry.
Okie doke.
Been a hot minute.
It's all good. Let me see. Arcana, that is a 12.
You kind of start getting the basics of it in. You start getting some of the rudimentary pieces of it in there. But it's going to take a little bit more for you to grasp the full understanding and how it works. So you decide to leave it for later.
So basically, I've translated it into my spell language. It's in the book. It's just that I haven't practiced it to be able to actually cast it yet.
You're breaking it down into your own shorthand, basically, and trying to explain it in a way that you would figure out how to cast it, how it makes sense to you.
That works. Then that is it for me.
All right. Meanwhile, Wolfgang and Asmo, you're trapped in a icy pool of water that is constantly de-aging you.
Oh no, we're about to turn into babies. Okay, so
Depends on how quickly you can break out.
remember that scene where Scrat from Ice Age was stuck trying to get that nut?
I've done my best to kind of remove most of Ice Age from my
Why?
brain.
That's one of the top. That's a top shelf franchise.
Sure. Go on.
It features Leguizamo. Asmo, he got no weapons. He doesn't know what to do.
So you're just struggling?
More or less, I'm just trying to shift as quick as I can because
Roll me an athletics check, Asmo.
God damn, if the other guy I'm stuck in here with doesn't have the powers he can activate with his mind. Athletics?
Yes.
Come on. 10, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're wriggling, but it feels like you're about to pop like joints out of their places when you're trying to because this has got you completely surrounded. You are encased.
Oh, it's bad because his tongue was out all the way too when it happened.
Don't struggle too much. All right.
How are you? All right, I'm underwater. I was underwater when it happened.
You weren't underwater. You weren't underwater when it happened. You were chiding him as he was walking away.
Well, could you try something, please, then?
I'm getting to it. I summon Crescendo. And
where is your hand?
I am going...
Can
half
you
of my body was submerged.
Okay.
I want to imagine it just appears and lands on the ice.
Great. Great.
All right. For
Really
benefit of the doubt, I'll say you have one hand out of the water right now.
Okay.
You're able to summon Crescendo into it.
And I will cast Wall of Fire. I will set it up to where we're not in its like super heated radius, but enough so that we could probably get thawed out in.
All right.
You
are casting a spell in what is essentially a god's domain. I want you to roll me a charisma check, which is your spell casting ability, to see if you can manage this.
18?
The spell, like the wall of fire that you're used to, is usually massive and burning magma hot, this like radiating these super hot waves, but for whatever reason you feel like this, like as you're attempting to cast it at its full force, you get kind of this trail of white fire. Something that you definitely wouldn't call a wall, almost might call a speed bump. You create a speed bump of fire. And it's slowly starting to melt some of the ice around it.
Start chipping away at the ice with Crescendo.
All right, go ahead and give me athletics as you start doing that.
I'm going to ignite the blade as well with my holy power as well.
All right.
So athletics, you said?
With advantage if you're using the flamin' blade.
All right.
Don't you have some weird power from your freaking god that could contact someone downstairs to get us out of here?
Yeah, as you begin like hacking at the ice around you with your blade, you can see that you're getting some stuff done. It's starting to chip off and melt away. You're creating puddles on top as the shards fly off and melt off of your blade. But man, this is some otherworldly ice that you are hacking through. Give me a second here. All right. Good news, you're both definitely at full health by now.
Oh boy.
Great.
Yes. All right, Asmo. The ice is slowly starting to weaken and melt due to the speed bump of fire, and Wolfgang is just hacking as best he can with a flaming sword as he is just burning off energy right now.
If it was possible to kill Solomon, I would right now. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get out of it again. Can I try and break the ice?
All right, athletics.
Ah!
Going Super Saiyan here. 21!
You start flexing and twisting, and the ice around you begins to crack. You can feel the combination of the warming of the ice with the wall of fire has weakened it enough that you've been able to just kind of create these fissures, and you can finally actually kind of move your hands as you can start, like, scraping your way out. Unfortunately, as Asmo, you are a cold-blooded creature. I'm going to need you to roll your first con save.
Alrighty, a con save. Oh my. Natural 1.
You begin to, like, after that exertion of, like, breaking free, you feel, like, elated for a moment. And then you start to feel incredibly lightheaded as your entire body begins to kind of flop backwards.
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
God,
I
I don't feel good. I think
Can I reach my clothes?
From where you are in the hot tub?
Yes.
Give me a perception check.
Fuck. 19?
I'd say with crescendo, you might be able to get the edge of it to kind of drag your coat in.
Okay, I'm going to quench the holy fire on the blade. I'm going to just slowly try to pull my cape of the mountebank towards me.
All right. Give me a sleight of hand, because it's a hand-eye coordination, making sure you're not dropping the cloak.
Fuck. 22.
All right, you managed to get the edge of the blade just under the thread, and it snags a little bit, so you're pulling it back gently, carefully, and now it's within arm's reach, and you got it.
All right, I grab the cape of the mountebank, put it on, grab Asmo's hand, and dimension door out of the pool.
Oh,
Boom.
nice.
All right. You grab Asmo by the arm as he's about to pass out from that exertion, and you guys are on the edge of what would be hot tub, the cold tub, and in your place are just these, it looks like invisible men bathing in a photograph.
Yeah, that's an eerie sight. You doing okay?
Fine. How about you?
I think I pulled my lower back. Oh, God. Twisted too hard.
Yep.
You feel days younger.
Oh, days younger. Great.
Actually.
Oh no!
I rolled for days, and we'll see what happens when you wake up.
Oh no!
By the way, that's how that went.
Interesting.
Indeed. So, what's your plan from here?
Get our clothes on and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my clothes on.
Yeah,
start warming up.
You guys are just kind of shivering as you're like putting on your clothes. You can barely feel the tips of your fingers at this point and various other extremities.
I'll just be prestidigitation, trying to warm myself up.
Even with that, it takes a bit to kind of get there for you. Like, just trying to warm yourself up with prestidigitation, it feels like you're being pricked with like 1,000 needles when you're warming some of these colder areas.
Fuck. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, let's go down. I'm worried about everybody. Let's go.
Asmo goes.
All right, as you pass by the bar area, the only people in there are Lush, Pip, and what can basically be described as a squadron of drow, as only one of them is kind of sitting down, just kind of rocking his feet under a bar stool next to them. Lush looks over to you. Everyone else went to bed. What happened to you?
Well, just had a meeting with Someone you're familiar with? Mr. Bones? Mr. Glowy Bones?
Never heard that one, but yeah. No, I get it. You,
He froze us in your goddamn hot springs upstairs.
good thing you broke out.
Yeah. Where the hell is he?
He's meeting with Tom.
The fuck is he meeting with Tom for?
I don't know. Do you want a drink?
My warm up our
Is the
extremities.
is the sky blue?
Not right now. Probably.
Well, then I would like an alcoholic beverage, yes.
All right. She steps behind the bar and pulls out a bottle of whiskey. Pours two glasses and kind of sets them down next to her. She sits down, holds the bottle, and just starts sipping out of it.
So you gonna watch the tournament there, Lush?
Not really my scene, but there's not really much else going on, so...
Pretty much. Might as well know what everyone's talking about in the bar. Wolfgang. Are you gonna make me go have a listen onto that door and find out what the hell those two are talking about?
Is it our business?
Oh, well, I think Solomon made everything he does our business after his little stunt in the hot springs. This is one combo I won't be iced out of.
Asmo gets up
and fucking around with him.
Asmo gets up, grabs a glass, actually, finishes his beer, like just downs it in one go.
Downs the
and
whiskey.
Takes it, downs the whiskey immediately, takes the glass, and brings it, goes through the beads, I guess.
All right. You are now in the juncture hallway. There's the stairway that leads up, the stairway, or not stairway, but the hallway that leads back towards the sauna area. And yeah, those are your two directions.
Well, Asmo is gonna go not towards the hot springs, but the other direction.
All right, you're going to go up the stairs where all the rooms are?
Yeah. See if I hear anyone talking.
All right, give me a perception check as you get to the top of the stairs.
See if I can tell where they are. Alrighty. And perception, you said?
Yes.
12.
You're having a hard time discerning any voices, but you do hear that same humming from that one door that Pip told you not to go into some time ago.
Asmo takes the glass and puts it to his ear and places it against the door.
The one with the humming?
Yes.
All right. Roll me another perception check with advantage.
Thank you. Oh yeah, the old glass trick, guys.
The old glass to your snake ears.
19.
The first thing that catches your ear as you put it up there is just like that humming, that. But there's another sound as well. There's these other kind of sing-songy, hummy sounds, but they have the tonation of almost a conversation. You can't quite make out what that is because you have no idea what fucking language they're speaking.
Asmo is gonna take the glass and carefully walk back out to the front of the bar, and put the glass right in front of Wolfgang. Bank, if you wanna find out what's going on, they're talking your gobbledygook language, I think.
Just sort of scoffs, grabs the glass, downs his own glass of whiskey. If you're so curious. And then he'll go back there.
All right. Wolfgang, Asmo, you guys head to the top of the stairs. Asmo, you point him straight at the door. Wolfgang, it's pretty easy to see what door it is. It's got a huge kind of pulsating hum behind it. You put the glass up to your ear and you listen in. Go ahead and give me perception with advantage.
Perception with advantage. 11.
All right, with an 11, you can't make out much. You can definitely make out a couple of words in Celestial. The conversation seems to be flowing the over the other hum. You can't quite make out exactly every single thing they're saying. From Tom, you're not hearing much, but from another voice that you instantly recognize as Solomon speaking the language of the gods, you hear the one phrase you can kind of make out is "won't let me," and that seems to be like the majority, like all that you can really make out from this, because everything else is just like, it's so densely covered by this pulsing hum noise from whatever else happens to be in that room.
Just he pulls the glass away from the door and he just looks at the glass, looks at us, and was like, "Did you fucking really think this would work?"
Hey, that's out of character.
Yes.
That's out of character. That's just me at you. That's just me at Connor. That's just. This is Phil Brooks talking to Paul Levesque. Okay, this is what's going on.
Oh God, fucking.
Yeah, unfortunately with that roll, you're not getting a lot from that particular conversation.
It just walks away. Well, I didn't hear much. Something about wouldn't let him. About all I got.
Well, that's something at least. So this tournament, Lush, what do you know about it?
You guys aren't next to Lush. You went upstairs.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Wolfgang's walking back down into the main area if Asmo wants to follow him.
All right.
Oh, okay.
You rejoin the area. Lush is still sitting there. Did you get anything out of that?
No, not really. Something about someone or something wouldn't let him do something. Him being Solomon. I don't know. I don't really care. Rather just sit this one out.
Probably for the best. Less you meddle, the better in that case with that guy.
Evidently.
She continues drinking out of the whiskey bottle.
Lush.
Hmm.
How strong do you reckon you are?
Why?
Well, things that I am tired of Solomon interfering in our lives. I was wondering if you could. And he pulls out a rough medium-sized diamond. Actually, no, he pulls out the smaller one. I was wondering if you could crush this into powder for me.
She holds out her hand.
Okay, I put it in her palm.
She clenches her fist. You can hear crackling. You can see her put like a bit more exertion into it, as she can feel the jagged edges of the diamond kind of digging into her palm. And you can see her muscles, like in her arm, just flex. You see all these veins just popping as you hear the grinding of the diamond in her hand. And then she, like, to your outstretched open hands, just kind of like gently starts pouring this diamond sand into your hand. And
I'll scoop it into an empty potion bottle.
All right, and there's a couple of teeny tiny diamond crumbs in there as well. Couldn't quite dust the whole thing, but
okay, that's probably enough.
She holds up her hand, just kind of blows a little bit as diamond dust kind of swirls in the air. Some of it ends up landing in Pip's hair, and now his hair is kind of glimmery. Gonna be finding that everywhere now. She starts brushing her hand off.
Finally.
Yeah.
You can scoop it up. It's good spell components.
There you go. You got a jar of diamond dust.
Tomorrow we'll see about getting that curse off you. Asmo.
Lush looks over. Curse?
Oh, yeah.
Asmo taps at his
Point
chest.
at his chest.
Asmo kind of pulls up the breastplate to show it off.
Don't you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
A little signature from Mr. Bones.
Well, best of luck.
Thanks, Lush. Appreciate it.
She shrugs. His shit's beyond my pay grade. I don't know.
I'm worried about this tournament. Is it single? Is it 1-on-1? Is it 4-on-4? We didn't really ask the details. We just signed up.
It's kind of different every year. Well,
no, is it so?
Every
what was it last
every
year?
50 years, I should say. Every time.
I keep forgetting that you are older.
Yes, significantly.
What was it 50 years ago then?
Ah, jeez. I remember that there was a race, and then once everybody got to the site, there was just a lot of blood. And only one team was, or one representative of any team was really allowed to be the winner. I mean, I think it was one team could have won, but almost everybody died. There was just one person left.
Battle Royale.
They had us signing on as groups, so
maybe each round is different, or maybe it's essentially you start with each member and they fight until they can't fight anymore.
It really depends on whatever Vander's mood is. Whatever he wants.
Well,
this year's supposed to be something special, though.
Oh, fun.
We can be sure he's not going to make it easy on us.
I don't know if he's the type to pick favorites. He's never come across that way anyway. He just wants to see the fight.
It's a fight he wants, and he'll raise his glass.
It's a fight we're gonna give him. Ah!
Here, here.
Here's to second chances and living only once.
You were right to be worried, though. I don't know how we keep running into you like this. But wherever we show up, and whenever you're there, something changes. Tom's just cryptic as usual.
These are trying times, Lush. We might be looking at another war. Maybe one to end them all.
Maybe. She kind of like cocks her head to the side. If it is the war to end them all, maybe that's for the best. If it means no more of them.
Oh, looks like they're gonna set up a shop and sell t-shirts.
What?
I don't know. Did that whiskey hit him?
Fuck is a t-shirt?
You know, a shirt. It looks like the letter T. You know, you ever see someone in the hot summer cut off their sleeves?
No.
You know, looks like the. All right, whatever.
Must be a snake thing.
You just wear a sleeveless robe.
The hell's in this whiskey?
Lush
Lush
just keeps pouring it back.
This better not be alcoholic.
Ah, very.
Oh no.
Either way, if you are worried about tomorrow, then you should probably get sleep.
That is true
Probably
enough.
should.
I think I
You
will
have to forgive.
turn in early.
A little bit.
As you guys begin to walk back through the beaded curtain, heading upstairs, the door that you were trying to listen to opens, and Solomon walks out. He looks at you from the top of the stairs. His eyes linger longer on you than it does on Wolfgang, Asmo. He just kind of walks by you guys without saying anything.
Hey, real quick before you leave, Solomon.
He doesn't turn back to you. He's kind of like just past you. His shoulder is kind of just perpendicular to yours as he's turning the corner. But he pauses to listen.
You hoping we win or lose the tournament?
He looks over his shoulder at you. I don't know. Haven't made up my mind yet.
That's it. I have nothing else.
Yeah, he turns his eyes back and he keeps walking. You! Move out. You hear a kind of a yes, sir, as all the drow surround him and they begin walking away.
Wait a minute. Are they all called you?
I don't care.
You guys head up to your rooms and
I'm gonna see if Tom comes out actually.
all right. How long do you want to wait?
A minute.
After a minute, doesn't appear like he's coming out.
All right. I'll go back to my room then.
All right. You guys head to your rooms and take your night of rest. In the morning, you're awoken by the sound of a massive explosion.
Fuck.
You're not sure where it came from, but it's kind of followed by this very soft sound of percussion. It sounds like a low, bassy rumble is traveling through the air. You were awoken quite quickly by this sound. And that percussion seems to continue.
Asmo gets up.
Denier leaps out of his bed with bat guano and sulfur in his hands, looking around quickly.
You fell asleep with them there, and
That's a fucking sentence.
yeah, you look around the room. Nothing seems out of place in the room, but you all hear that same percussive beat.
Get out of bed. Get dressed.
Yeah, you do that pretty quickly with how startling the explosion was to wake you up. As you guys convene in the hallway, all pretty quickly, you're all very jostled, and you're just kind of like looking around on edge as you're seeing everybody else pop out of their respective rooms. You're all actually on the same hall, all actually right next to each other in terms of room.
So woke all of you up too, huh?
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I'm gonna
know how
transfer
it
to the
couldn't have.
Dragonborn before I walk out.
Yeah, easy enough with your with the device on your neck.
Opening
Morning,
ceremonies,
dude.
probably.
Good morning.
It's tournament fighting day, oh boy.
Well, we should probably get out there. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most of us.
Last in a lifetime opportunity by the sounds of things. Did you know you can die at this thing?
I'm going to assume death is going to be encouraged, or at least not frowned upon.
Speaking of death, Asmo.
Well, what? No, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he's feeling fine.
I was talking about something else.
Okay.
Lift your shirt up for me, please.
Show me on the doll.
It's right here. Okay.
That's what kind of looks side to side and lifts up his breastplate.
All right.
And,
what are you attempting here, Wolfgang?
So the mark on his chest, that is a curse by definition, correct?
As far as you're aware.
Okay. I'm going to cast Greater Restoration to remove the curse.
All right. Once again, doing this in another god's realm against another god's magic.
Oh shit. Well, could I?
Wait.
Yeah, you've decided to do this despite my previous warning. So go ahead and roll me a charisma check.
This is a Greater Restoration spell. Fuck. 13.
As you begin to cast this spell, you kind of scatter the diamond dust around the affected area. You begin channeling your energy into it, pushing as hard as you can. The diamond kind of shines and begins to melt away into his skin as it sort of simmers out. Asmo, you feel this tingling sensation around the area. It's hard to describe. It's like you're getting pricked with 1,000. Like, it's like you're getting pricked with a bunch of needles, but the needles don't really hurt. They just kind of give off this like warm sensation. But the symbol itself doesn't seem to do much. Like, it doesn't seem to disappear at all.
Fuck.
Well, I appreciate you trying, nonetheless.
Azo puts it back down again.
As
I think
always.
it's something in the air here that's interfering with my powers here. It didn't seem to do it with the Cape of the Mountebank, but with the spell I cast last night, it seems to. I think it's something directly with my power, not with magical items. Well, at least I know that for the future. I'll try again when we get home.
You begin to hear other sounds begin to join the drums. This sort of
Is Pip actually singing?
Sure. You can tell you're missing something, though.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
get
get
downstairs.
Probably get going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys head downstairs. There's actually nobody in the bar. And as you step out the front, there's just this crazy... the streets are crowded with Goliath. People are marching down the streets, just banging on these drums, playing these various instruments, some of which you've never seen previously. In fact, most of which you haven't. They all seem incredibly... they seem like exotic woodwind or brass instruments as they're marching down. And once again, there's another massive boom explosion. This time you can see the light radiating from the west of the city. The shadow kind of overtakes the street that you're standing in. And you can see like a small hint of smoke kind of wafting over the rooftops behind you. As you make your way back towards like the center area, trying to work your way through these crowds of Goliath, you see that there is a big marquee and kind of a parapet built out where you first entered, where all of those, let's just say, indentured servants were working to build this stuff throughout the night. A couple of them are actually crumpled beneath some of the structures that they built, just kind of like built themselves inside of it, and they're just kind of like laying in a fetal position on the inside of them.
The hell is going on?
All of these Goliaths are just kind of like cheering and roaring as this relatively regally dressed one begins to make his way up to the parapet as you've been following this parade. He stands up.
Gladiators and combatants, welcome to the 100th War Games!
And this mighty roar erupts from the crowd as they cheer and just throw random shit everywhere. Like some people are throwing vases or rice or whatever they happen to have their hands on. Just shit's flying in the air. A couple of fists are thrown at people. A couple of brawls break out.
In mere moments, the combatants will come to draw their lots to determine their fate. But for now, enjoy the ceremonies and prepare for a statement from the Sovereign of Storms himself!
A mighty roar breaks out amongst the crowd as just a whole bunch of various Goliath-esque jubilation begins. There are people fighting, punching, drinking. Like, this is just... It's like Mardi Gras if you replaced all the booze with steroids.
Do I see Dogard anywhere?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'm going to assume the crowd is going,
Yeah, when they're not breaking each other's jaws.
26.
T-Wig, you can actually make out... you can actually see the approaching shape of Dogard from the north of the city, wandering through the streets. Clearly people cascading to get out of his way, as he's not paying much mind of what's beneath his feet.
I kind of make a mental note and turn back to listen more to the announcements. Just be like, all right, there he is, and turn back.
Yeah, the announcer is kind of already... he's already kind of taken his exit from the center of the stage, and is now just walking down off the stage and back over to an area that you can't quite see from where you're at as he walks down the stairs of that parapet. Around this area, you do see that, while yes, a lot of Goliath have gathered, so too have many of the races vying for supremacy.
Should we go down there?
You're already there.
oh,
Yeah, you're in the crowd. You're just kind of like, this is you as you're looking around. You see a few of those, you see a couple of those troglodytes that you remember seeing many bodies of only a little under a week ago now. Doesn't take you long to notice that Harper Valentine is in the crowd with, seems to be sticking exclusively with his tribe of orcs. Among the crowd, you also see several yellow-scaled serpent creatures with, they seem to have human-like torsos, so almost like you, Asmo, but the entire lower half of their body are snakes, and their scales are all yellow and relatively tannish gold. They seem to glimmer a little bit.
how many are there?
Appears to be 5 of them, at your accounts. The one they
What are
all
the-
seem to be affixed on is, from what you can guess, a male. Bare-chested, wears kind of this cross bandolier of various daggers and knives across his chest, and 2 scimitars on his back.
Asmo points with 2 fingers to Wolfgang.
Look at that guy right there.
Wolfgang, your eyes are dragged from another tribe of orcs, this one more yellow-skinned than the ones you met in Damhammer. They appeared to be led by a massive, like, 7-foot-tall man, well, orc male, with semi-balded head. His head is just covered in these massive scar tissue, but what parts of the top of his head are not covered appear to have hair growing out of it. So his hair is just growing in this really odd, zigzaggy fashion on top of his head, and the front appears to have a pompadour to it. He carries a massive hammer on his back. And Asmo points out these these serpent-like creatures.
Lani, would it be possible for me to roll a perception check to try to pick out potential shamans or spellcasters from the group of these groups that we know are more than likely going to be in the tournament?
Sure. Go ahead and make me a perception check as you've been
23.
glancing around. All right, from that yellow-skinned orc tribe, you're pretty easily, or at the very least, from your best guess, there is one that seems to be there's one that appears to be older, wearing this almost burlap-esque hood over his head, and he carries this staff with a big knotted chunk at the end of it, like this big, thick, almost like it almost looks kind of like a very long truncheon.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell that from what you guys are going to be going into, this guy probably seems too frail to be a warrior. Beyond that, it's kind of hard for you to tell amongst these groups who might be more magical in nature.
Looks like the yellow orcs have got a spellcaster with them. The one with the hood, with the knotted staff. Don't know if it's arcane or more shamanistic, but if we go up against them, we need to keep an eye on it.
You say that as your eyes continue to glance around the crowd, you see it's odd to you. You haven't seen aside from in the little township, or if you can call it that, of Solitude, you haven't seen any other really mammalian-esque creatures, especially furry ones. You see this tribe of hyena-looking people. They got these rounded backs and canine-like features, but they're all wielding various weapons and have these tubes kind of attached to their belts. This series of like 3 up to 6 tubes encircling their belts.
Wolfgang, off to our left, the hyena men. What do you make of those things at their belts?
Wolfgang, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay.
With advantage, because Denier pointed them out.
19.
You're not entirely sure what to make of the tubes themselves. They are obviously there to hold something. It could be anything from poison to weapons to scrolls to spell components. It could be a lot of things. You know that they're there to hold something. The amount each of them has is hard to signify, but you do recognize the type of creature this is from stories that your wife would have told you. These are gnolls.
Gnolls.
Have I heard of anything about gnolls or no, Lani?
Give me a history check.
24?
Yes, you know that gnolls are kind of a nomadic pack species.
Mm-hmm.
You're not entirely sure what this pack is doing living in a desert region, but you do know that they are carnivorous. They are kind of like they're very tricky sort of creatures, but they act as a pack.
Yeah, they're nomadic, pack mentality. Strange to see them all the way out here. Mostly the folks around here are either Goliath, reptilian, apart from Solitude. They might be closer to the mountains, or they might be from across the mountains.
They may be near Solitude. My wife used to tell me about these creatures.
Makes sense. We want to keep an eye out for them. They're tricksy.
Keep an eye out on everyone here. Every single one of these people are ready to kill or be killed.
Well, so are we.
Yeah, you can see the
Are
crowd.
we?
The crowd is slowly starting to get like a little thinner as, and as they do, you can see this area is kind of. It's almost a carnival of sorts. There appear to be like various booths, specialty booths even, and almost as if to kind of call it there a little bit, Asmo. There is a specialty merchandise. Like there are a series of merchandise booths for the war games themselves.
There you go. Right there.
Asmo points.
That's what I was talking about.
Huh.
One of the booths you can see a relatively large Goliath man standing beneath a sign that, Denier, you can read because it's in giant. It appears to say the mighty Uruk. And on the side, there's another sign that says, who can best him? Wager for wager.
I relay the information.
As Denier relays this information, you see a very cocksure Goliath man kind of nod to a Goliath female as he walks up. And they grapple hands. And as Denier is relaying this information, you can see the mighty Uruk basically kick the leg out from behind this guy and Russian leg sweep him down to the ground and pound his elbow into this guy's throat. The cocksure Goliath just grasps at his throat as Uruk lifts him up and slams him down on the side of his knee, and he crumples over to the side. Uruk looks over to his the cocksure Goliath's woman, just kind of nods, and she nods back. Then a couple of smaller Goliath, you think they're kind of like teenagers, come in and drag this now beaten man away.
You should have a go, Asmo.
Nah, I'm good.
Not before the tournament.
Hey, I just got a new lease on life. Let's not throw it away so needlessly. Now, besides, I've already joined this tournament. Risky enough.
At this point, all of you have noted that Dogud is definitely visible, and he is, he's casting a shadow over people as he's just kind of like leaning on the corner of a building, standing like 2 heads above it. He's just surveying the crowd from higher up. You don't even think he's noticed you yet as he's looking around.
I'm gonna wave like a kid who's on stage at their first play, waving to their parents, like "Hi, mom." Like just kind of give him a wave. I don't know if he'll see me, but
the glimmering of your dragon scales actually catches his eye. He looks over and he sees the lot of you. There's that hard look on his face that he gave you the last time he talked to you appears to have faded a bit, and he just kind of somberly nods as he looks.
Give him a thumbs up.
He looks back up towards the palace, up at the very top, at the back of Oasis.
I wander towards him.
As you do that, another massive explosion bursts out from behind the palace, and the crowd roars as they all look that way. And you see, as you look up towards that area, the crowd is cheering as the mighty booming voice of Vander cries out. And as it does, a massive projection, almost like a greater illusion, pops out in front of the palace, and you can see basically the bust of him, the upper half of his torso, staring out down among the crowd as he is flexing, raising his hands into the air as 2 mighty fireballs fire up into the air. It looks like he's holding them in his projection. And as he clenches his fists, they boom!
Welcome to the 100th War Games. We will now begin the selection process.
I'll take that, guys.
When your tribe is called, walk up to the podium and choose your fate. But before you do, I have a special announcement. This year, being the 100th War Games, the 500th anniversary of its very origin, you all shall be blessed, for my own children shall be fighting for our amusement.
And the crowd erupts as Doged just grits his teeth and stares daggers at this. Like, he's not even looking at the projection, he's looking through it back towards the palace.
So fight well, because you know they will. Let the War Games begin!
And another massive explosion takes the place of that projection as percussive drums begin to beat. You can hear the straining of chains. As you look up, you remember the chains that were coming out of the lake that you saw. They begin to draw taut towards the base of the palace as you begin to hear the as they slowly grind through the fists of the statue of Vander out over the wharf. And as the chains grind and drag and pull out of the water, you see slowly but surely as this white stone coliseum begins to rise from the center of the oasis lake, followed by what looked to be green-tipped, yes, they're trees being pulled out from this. It looks as though an entire island is being lifted out of this lake as these chains are being pulled, one after the other, being dragged up from this is a whole island at the center of Oasis.
Wow.
Goodness.
Ain't that a hell of a sight?
And as the chains stop, this entire process seems to take the total of 10 minutes as these chains were dragging one after the other. A series of fire spouts shoot out from the center of the Colosseum at the center of that island all the way around. And then a massive thunderbolt cracks down at its very center, igniting a massive pyre at the top of that Colosseum. And the audience is just going apeshit this entire time. Like you guys, many of the participants have never seen this previously. So they're all in this, like, most of them seem to be in the same level of awe as you are. As that Master of Ceremonies walks back up onto stage.
We'll now be calling out the tribes. When your tribe is called, send your representative. Dustfield!
And you hear this chittering as this black mohawked, gray-furred gnoll begins to scamper their way up the stairs. Their teeth are just like, you can see their massive, jagged fangs stuck in a almost permanent smile as this like drool kind of coalesces around their bottom jaw. This one appears to be a female. Reaches into this box of lots and pulls out, hands it to the commissioner.
Alright, mark this down.
Hands it off to what appears to be a smaller bookkeeping Goliath who also has like these jagged, mishealed bones and carries it off.
Tiny. Does he have tiny glasses? I need to know.
No, in fact, he appears to be missing an eye, though.
Oh.
Ambu Glade!
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang walks up.
Doga just kind of like looks at you. And you begin walking to the top of the parapet. You can see all of this crowd of people just looking at you. They aren't sure what to make of you. Go ahead and roll me a D... Shit, I have this written down. 10. Roll me a D10 to determine your place.
7.
All right.
Not bad. Not bad.
Lucky number 7.
All right.
That is going to affect the rest of this arc.
Oh, shit. RNG?
There we go.
Yes.
If we die, you can blame me.
Pretty much. You hand that lot to the Master of Ceremonies. This guy who's a lot bigger as you're standing directly in front of him. He kind of towers over you. You'd say he's probably 7.5 feet tall, and probably like 0.01% body fat, and he knows it. You hand it to him, and his hands feel like they are nothing but calluses. It almost feels like you're rubbing your hand against a brick as you give him that particular lot.
All right, mark it down!
Slaps the boy and hands him the lot. He continues to run through names as you go back to your party. I'll just list this off. It'll be going on in the background as you do what you're doing, but the Knolls were from Dustfield. He obviously calls up the Damhammer Orcs. When he calls out Dark Rock, one of the Trog representatives walks in. The Grave Tenders, one of a centaur, has little difficulty going up the stairs. They appear to be kind of zebra-backed, but going down the stairs, they're having issue. They need to make a couple of leaps. Solitude Skinwalkers, Scorch, the Fire Newts come. A tiny Fire Newt winds its way through the crowd, walks up and leaps up and grabs something from the box. Actually, as the Fire Newt is wandering, a couple of small fires start on the wooden steps, so people have to put those out as it's running. The Serpent Dunes, the Serpentine Naga that you had seen previously, Asmo, that one with the 2 scimitars on its back, makes its way up. Dyke Rock, the yellow-skinned orc, the very large one with the patchy hair. And then from the Fire Plains comes another serpentine creature, this one leaving a black trail behind it. It also has very, like, draconic features. It looks very much like the Naga, but it seems to be smoldering in heat and is completely red of scale. Alright, but that's what's going on in the background as you are... rejoin your group. And this is where you do stuff.
So, 7, huh?
That's what the number said.
Well, here's hoping it was lucky.
Here's hoping. Well, either way, our fate is sealed now.
So, what do we get if we win again? I forgot.
A wish, I believe.
What does that mean?
Well, basically, we can ask for anything that's within Vander's power to give.
Well, we could use that to wish for the Asmo whispers, tear up the lunar well. Or something spiteful.
Don't we need them to,
Asmo
like,
smiles.
You feel the heat of the sun leave you as you are cast in shadow, and Dogud is now leaning over you.
Hello!
So, What'd we get?
7.
I look to Wolfgang.
What's that mean?
Well, I assume it means we're matched up with the other people who drew number 7. I don't know. I've never really entered a tournament before.
Me neither, I suppose. Oi, I want to clear the air. I know you ain't the ones that, did that to Spike.
I'm glad you see it that way now.
But we're the ones that's going to help you get him back and do
Exactly.
Spike right.
And that's where I need to ask a favor of you.
Name it.
I don't like killing things. There's only one fucking thing I want to kill here. And that's the old geezer.
I don't think anyone's gonna stop you from that.
Wolfgang sort of swallows really hard.
But in order to get to him, it means we have to go through Vesa.
Is that a problem for you?
I don't want to kill her. I don't think I got it in me.
That's understandable.
Who is she to you?
Family.
Ah.
She called me Dogad. I didn't even know she knew that's what I was called.
Oh, so she's been doing her research.
I mean, she
You know
seems
what?
pretty cool, honestly.
Now she does. I'm pretty sure we get in that ring. She's not going to be the chillest person.
She won't hesitate to kill any of us,
Including you.
especially me. It's the only way. It's what the old geezer wants. She told me that there's a bit of the old man's power in us. After you lot killed Taranak, and I got hit by that big bolt of what's-its.
Lightning.
Yeah,
I nod.
I felt it. It didn't hurt. I mean, it hurt like fucking hell, but it didn't damage. I felt stronger.
You took his power.
I think the old geezer wants us to kill each other.
Does that sound vaguely familiar to the ritual that I went through?
You were a baby, so I would say
Baby boy!
go ahead and give me a history check with disadvantage.
Two babies, one knife.
4.
Oh my god, can you imagine if a
Little
baby
baby Wolfgang with a full Van Dyke beard just looking up in a mobile. Goo goo gagoo. You have no fucking clue.
Wait a minute. I'm baby?
The old geezer wants us to kill each other. I ain't gonna give him the fucking satisfaction. Whatever happens, when we get in the ring with her, it has to be you.
Who is he pointing to? Wolfgang?
The lot of you.
Us.
Us?
Us, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Very well. I understand.
And frankly, if at all possible, I'd like to save me strength for the old man. You lot are capable. I know what you can do. You killed Faranak. I guess I'm trying to... I trust you.
Wow. In Asmo's eyes, a pop open to that, like, what the fuck?
Don't look at me like that. What?
No, I just start kind of punching his leg, like.
Stop
You're
it.
one of us, Doggood. You can't stop it now. You're one of us.
Stop it. I still ain't happy, alright? I know there ain't no way through. Except with you lot. Spike liked you. Spike trusted you. And I gotta trust that. So whatever happens.
We'll get it done.
Alright.
So, where do we get started?
As that was being, as this conversation kind of rolls to a natural conclusion, you see the final, smoldering serpent-like creature slithering off the stage, also causing kind of a trail of fire to burst out behind it.
And I hope that guy's gonna be okay. That thing came out of the water, and he looks like he's made out of fire.
And so, the lots have been drawn. The lot of you will report when called.
And as I set up for this next part, this seems like a good a time as any to take a break. Hey guys, Lani here. If you're liking what you're watching, feel free to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It really helps me feel the love for this series. And if you want to catch us live, feel free to hit us up on twitch.tv/Lanipator Mondays at 5 o'clock Central Time. Thanks for rolling with me. Now let's get back to the action. A little bit more time passes after the announcement that everybody's lots have been drawn. And you're basically all told to stand by until your group is to report to a very specific spot. Nobody really knows exactly what that means. There's a lot of confusion in the crowd, but most of the Goliaths are just partying. Some of them are already sailing toward the island. Those that you assume have basically right to enter the arena as audience members. Probably those of the upper echelon of the particular society, for lack of a better term. But as you look off at the island, toward the space where those ships are sailing out towards, you see a very thick mist forming.
On the water?
On the water. Kind of starting to surround the island. And through that mist, you start to make out shapes slowly approaching the wharf.
The island side or our side?
It's coming towards you from the island.
Oh, okay.
These shapes become more and more clear as they get closer to the wharf itself. This entire process is kind of over the course of a couple of hours since you noticed the mists rolling in. It's midday by now, and you can see that these shapes are in the form of 5 black-sailed boats. They make anchor in the center of the wharf, kind of just out front of where all this celebration has been taking place, as a hush seems to encircle the crowd, and all of the combatants begin to gather over every single tribe near that big rhino-backed centaur with the red elf is there as well. Mm-hmm. Red elf's just kind of like looking around at the crowd, just trying to make sense of everything that's happening, notices you, smiles, and waves.
You will wave back at the elf.
A smile just curls across his lips as he looks back towards these ships, and you see the shape of a man at the bow of one, and it doesn't take you very long to recognize this particular man, as his skeleton glows through his ebon black misty skin. So I'm betting a lot of you are wondering, how are you gonna kill each other this time? Well, I'm gonna give it to you real... Boom! A massive bolt of lightning strikes right next to him. Jesus fuck! And standing next to him right now is Vander. God! I fucking hate you!
There, little brother. There. With the lots you have drawn, you shall each be assigned a ship. Your first task is to make it to the island. Only one team can touch foot on the shore. You need to make sure that it's you that makes it, and not the other team you'll be traveling with. Onward to the island!
And he grabs Solomon's hand, thrusts his other hand. Hey, wait a minute! And then bolt of lightning shoots down, and like that, they are both off the hull.
Really, very showy family they are.
I ain't gonna fit on one of them.
I did not prepare water walk. Fuck.
How deep do you think that water is?
Deep enough to hold an island.
Same can be said for everything.
Hey, Doged.
He looks down towards you.
You trust me, right?
I mean, I guess. I said so and whatnot. Why?
Well, I did not prepare that ability that lets you walk on the water, but I could turn you into a giant crocodile.
Is there anything that would stop me from being a giant crocodile at that point? Is this like when you turn me into that fluffy cat thing?
Yeah, but you won't be a cat, you'll be a badass crocodile.
He looks at the boat.
I mean, I guess that would work.
Okay, let's walk and see how far you get. And when it gets too deep, you let me know. And boom, giant crocodile, okay?
Or, if it's not that deep, you could just... I mean, would you be opposed to carrying us?
Also just makes a face like, man, what about that?
I think we have to use the boats, don't we? We're fighting someone on boats?
We have to fight the other teams on the boat.
It sounds like whichever team made it today. Which would imply the boat, yeah.
Above game, Nick. I guess we can't tell the difference. That would be metagaming. All right.
You do have to be on the boat.
Is everyone fighting? Or are they all orderly waiting in line like a 747?
You're all just kind of clumped around and waiting to be called out, basically. The first boat is called up, and here, I gotta pull up my list here.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Actually, about how long have we been standing here after the ceremonies have more or less concluded?
You've been around here for a few hours as these boats slowly encroached. Why? Was there something you would have done in that time?
Could I negotiate a short rest?
Yeah. This absolutely. I mean, you had a long rest last night, but this is definitely a short rest. So.
Great. Get my spell slot back.
Sure thing.
Boop.
Oh, yeah, interesting enough, the yellow-skinned orcs and the green-skinned orcs are on the first boat.
Oh.
So Damhammer and Dyke Rock are traveling at the same time.
Oh boy, it's 2 by 2, right?
Yeah, they each walk on a different gangplank to get on the boat. After they are called, one team goes up, then the other one's called, the next one goes up. All right, 2 and 4. We had the Trogs and the Centaurs. Then 5 and 6, we have the Skinwalkers and the Fire Newts. 7, Team Connolly. And 8, the Knolls of Dustfield.
Ah, fuck.
There
we go. We're
you hop on the deck, and do you go ahead and cast the spell on Dogid?
I'm gonna have to, I suppose.
Yeah,
He
so
doesn't fit on the.
a giant crocodile waddles his way up the gangplank. A very grumpy looking crocodile. Not really sure how to navigate its legs. Actually, no, it takes on the intelligence stat of the creature as well. So, yeah, he knows how to walk.
Sweet.
So, on the deck of the ship, the first thing you notice as you walk up this dark wooded ship, you get this sort of ghostly chill down your spine. A kind of chill that most of you hadn't felt since spending time with the necromancers in the north. T-Wig, this place feels wrong. This entire ship just feels wrong. Not only because you're standing on dead trees, but it feels tainted.
Ugh. This place feels weird.
And there's nobody at the helm.
Out of character. Ghost boat.
Ghost
Detect
boat.
magic.
The gnolls all scamper up after you. There are five of them amongst this group. You can see the one in the center definitely appears to be their leader, that female with the black mohawk and the gray spotted fur. She seems to have the most tubes wrapped around her belt. She sort of looks to the others, starts chittering. And they begin to scatter. Like they go straight for what appears to be a doorway on the deck and run beneath deck. The female gnoll laughs, pulls a little orb from one of the tubes, slams it to the ground, and a big smoke field just kind of covers this entire area. And you just hear the scratching of claws as you can hear the female gnoll skittering away as well.
Can I, as they cast the smoke bomb, can I cast fairy fire on the direction where I heard the gnolls?
You can cast it on the female. The other ones had already run beneath deck, but yes.
Okay, we haven't rolled for initiative yet or anything?
Nope. That was their immediate action.
Okay, then I guess I'll hold off. I thought we were fighting the moment we got on the ship.
You can definitely cast fairy fire on the female.
Oh, I would have cast it on all of them if I had known we were starting. I didn't realize.
What's the area on fairy fire? Like how many?
20-foot cube.
The 20-foot cube.
I'd say you could probably, based on their sporadic movements, you probably could have hit 3 of them.
All right, then I would like to try and hit 3 of them.
All right.
They have to make a dexterity saving throw.
DC. No, let's see. All right. One of them got a nat 20. As if flipping the coin, one of them got a nat 1, and
That's
the
failure.
and their leader got a 16.
Just succeeded.
All right, so you got one of them, and you can Fairy fire basically makes it so that they are luminescent, right? You can't detect them through objects, right?
You can. I believe you can. Hold on.
They can't benefit from invisibility. All attacks against them have advantage.
All right. So if they are obscured by a wall, you can't see through that wall.
They are outlined with light.
Yeah, they shed light and
They
like
shed
10
light.
foot around them.
They glow essentially.
All right. They appear to. They still all ditch and jump down the corridor that seems to lead further into the ship. As you can hear the helm start to creak, it begins to turn, and another spine-tingling wind chill crawls across you as this otherworldly wind kicks up and starts pushing the ship back towards the island. You see a few of the ships are ahead of you, the ones that had already started their journey. The closest one, you can probably actually make out some of the battle noises as you can... you see a splash from the other ship. Clearly somebody just got ejected. The crocodile Dogad's just kind of looking towards you guys.
I give him a little pat on the head. I'm really confused. Are we fighting? What are we doing? I have no idea.
The ship is traveling.
All right.
And the gnolls appear to have run away.
What does their ship look like? It is pretty much identical to ours. Like...
All the ships look exactly the same.
Point my finger at their ship.
I'm
at which ship?
Right now.
At the Knoll's ship.
You're on the same ship.
Oh.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right.
Sorry if I didn't make that clear.
Yeah, no, that was kind of the confusion there.
Yeah,
initially.
Two teams are on each ship.
Gotcha.
Two
okay.
teams enter, one team leaves.
And we're supposed to fight each other, right? Or am I?
You're supposed to be the only team that makes it off.
Oh.
And the Knolls just fucked off.
Yep, they are deep within the bowels of this boat now.
Let's stick together.
Yep.
No, I have an idea real fast. How hard would it be to bust a hole in the side of the ship and flood below deck?
We need to get to the place, though. The ship needs to be there.
We can ride on Dogud.
No, they literally said we have to be on the ship, Asmo.
Fine.
The more time we wait, the more time
more for lasts for an hour.
Downstairs.
Asmo readies a defensive action. Pulls out his blades.
All right, we're fighting on their terms.
I think we need to hunt them down, but...
One of them went in through a door, correct?
There is only one door that leads below deck.
Okay. It looks like it's made of wood or something?
It's kind of like there isn't even really a door, it's just a doorway. There's a decline of stairs.
Okay, well, I will cast Detect Magic.
This entire ship begins to glow.
Okay. I will keep it on to keep a lookout for any sort of magical traps they may have set.
All right.
All right, let's get to it.
Real quick, Nick, is the floor of the ship, it's made of wood, right?
Yes.
Okay. We can go through the door and play their game, or,
Asmo points down.
we could play our own game and make our own door.
Asmo pulls out Fire Ant.
What are you thinking?
You want to bust through the floor?
Oh, the ship has to arrive there, but it doesn't say it had to arrive in one piece. Or unscratched. Let's be honest, if they think we're fighting, they know we're destroying part of the ship.
How long do you think that will take?
It really depends. Can one of you bust a hole in this?
You can hear the Dogud crocodile kind of growl a little bit.
I don't know what he's saying. He's a crocodile.
I don't know either. I didn't speak with animals.
What?
I honestly,
well, they have to do something.
We're going to use a lot of resources trying to get through the ship. Probably the best bet would be to go down, take the sneak route, go down, stealthing our way down, and trying to catch them before they catch us. The more time we wait, they're setting up traps or something down below.
All right, let's go then.
All right, I'll arm myself with Crescendo and Requiem.
All right.
Mage armor and stealth.
Blades out. Defensive action being taken.
All right, you guys begin to... in what order are you traveling?
Oh, Asmo will go first. I don't know. I'm the one who can take a hit.
All right.
I'm going third.
Oh, also, scratch the fairy fire. I realize if I cast that, it's a concentration, so that didn't happen at all.
Okay.
Because Doga needs to stay as a crocodile, so forget that. I can't use that at all.
All right.
Crocodile.
You guys begin making your way... all right, so you're in the order of Asmo, Wolfgang, Denier, Teewig, Crocodile?
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe so.
All right, Dogad's having some issue navigating the stairs, just being very low to the ground and awkward, but you guys start to make your way below deck, very cautiously peering around corners. Every now and again, you think you hear... followed by skittering. Asmo, I want you to make a perception check as you're taking point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm on the lookout for traps, so I'll see anything that is within 30 feet of me. That's magical.
Right.
22. Good roll. Nice.
Asmo, you managed to stop everybody behind you as you almost stepped on a tripwire.
Asmo's quiet and just points down with his hand.
You follow the tripwire. It's tied to kind of the bottom peg of the banister of the stairwell, and it leads over to this what appears to be like this metal box. It smells distinctly of black powder.
I don't know what to do. Just
Well, you've pointed out the trap.
I pointed it out to everybody.
Okay. Do you want us... if we can back away everybody, I can probably put enough force on it with my mage hand to set it off. They'll think that we've been damaged. They'll come out to try to attack us. And that may give us an advantage.
I think that's a good plan. How much black powder do you think is in that thing?
It's about a box that is probably 5 by 10 inches. A decent amount.
Okay. We'll probably stay about 30 feet back, if we can.
So you step back out onto the deck.
Yep. Denier will mage hand. He will grab the tripwire, and he will, with the mage hand, give it a yank.
Boom! A massive explosion rocks. A chunk of the upper deck actually falls down into that stairwell as the ship begins to rock violently back and forth. It was a sizable explosion. Teewig, with your passive perception, you can hear the giggles and laughter, but no movement from the gnolls.
I hear laughter, but there's no movement.
All right. Asmo. Okay, so who's going second in our group?
That'd be me.
Okay. Teewig, you're on the end with Dogud. Denier's going to take a...
Is Doga just outside the ship, swimming along beside it?
No, he's on the deck with you as a giant crocodile.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Jeez.
Right, I'm going to cast invisibility on me, Wolfgang, and Asmo. If you see something, tap Wolfgang, and Wolfgang will tap me.
Oh.
That way, they're less likely to see us sneaking down. And I don't have enough for everybody.
They seem to be tricksy and trapsy, so...
Yeah.
I'm gonna... Wolfgang pulls the goggles of seeing invisibility over his eyes and... activates them.
I cast invisibility at 4th level, making myself, Asmo, and Wolfgang invisible.
All right. Wolfgang, this did nothing. You can still see Asmo and Denier.
What?
But you guys
Oh,
are...
magic. Oh, right, magic sight.
Did
Yeah.
nothing.
The goggles, they do everything. Anyway.
Oh, it makes the pain. It seals in the pain.
All right. You guys begin making your way down. You can roll a stealth check with advantage.
Yep.
Excelente.
20.
Natural 20.
24. Oh, thank God.
All right.
Whoo! Connor's roll.
Yeah, you guys begin sneaking very silently. T-Wig, are you going to follow a little bit behind them?
I'm
or-
just gonna wait because I'm not very stealthy,
All right.
and if I hear anything, I'll run in.
Dogan's just up there on the deck looking at the traveling down the stairs now is kind of awkward because most of them are shattered and broken, and since part of the top deck fell in, you kind of have to like duck your head and squeeze through a little passage. But you make your way into the ship. You start looking around. The smell of that burnt, expended black powder still hangs very heavy in the air. You appear to be in a very small, like a landing area on the second deck. The floor seems to, you can only travel to the left or further backward because the front deck cut off your path to the right. They would have led around behind the stairwell that way.
Okay. I think I understand.
Yeah, this particular room that you are standing in, it looks like it used to be some form of quarters. There looks to be scraps of hammock kind of draped about, no doubt destroyed by the explosion. Perhaps this is where the victors were supposed to rest if they happened to win early on.
Perception on the left-hand side, looking for more of these nasty traps.
All right, give me a
I still have
perception
detect
check.
magic on.
Mm-hmm.
11.
The air is still a little thick with smoke. The visibility in this area is actually kind of dense, but so it's hard for you to make out much of anything down the hallway, especially as there don't appear to be any natural light sources. Even with your dark vision, like it's the fact that you have dark vision is why you didn't make this with disadvantage.
Okay.
I rolled 22.
All right, Asmo, you're kind of keeping yourself below the smoke line, watching for traps as you're wandering down this way, keeping your eye out for...
I'm kind of doing that. You know when someone climbs up the stairs really quickly and it looks like they're walking up with all four limbs?
Yeah, you're kind of down on all four.
Asmo's kind of doing that to keep his head down, like acting like an actual animal.
All right, you're looking carefully.
I stick my tongue out to smell. Asmo's going to try and smell with his tongue.
And it's a
because
good
those
thing that
kobolds...
you did that, because I was going to say, you, as you're traveling down this hallway, you start to smell something odd. It smells like kerosene. And almost a little bit like rotten eggs.
That's not good.
What is it?
As far as you can...
has Asmo ever smelled kerosene before?
Being a former highwayman, and I'm not going to say that Asmo committed arson at any time, but you do know what a flammable liquid smells like.
Well, arson's like such a specific crime. You know, like the whole crime was fire.
It's basically like lantern oil. So yeah, you've smelled it before.
Asmo just... I mean, I can't really see Wolfgang, can I? So, because he's invisible.
You could hear him, though.
Asmo just whispers,
Lantern oil reeks of it. They're setting a flame trap.
And Wolfgang, now that he's mentioned that, through the smell of the black powder, you can kind of start to smell it too. It seems to be ebbing from below deck, like further down. As you travel down this hallway, you see that this the stairwell curves further into the ship. There seems to be another deck down beneath the stairs you've already traveled.
Now, about the hallway we're on, is there any kind of moisture or anything that looks like it would be wet, like with the way the light carries on a wetter surface, the reflection?
Nothing that you can see particularly, but you do manage to make out some claw marks with that perception check as you're keeping your head down, and they do seem to lead further in.
Okay. Asmo very gingerly crawls forward a couple more feet.
And as you do,
Should we set this one off too?
You don't know, like, the trap doesn't appear to be here. You can just smell it from where you are. But as you make your way around the corner, as you peek your invisible head around, you do see that there is there's actually a gnoll standing there holding 2 tubes in its hands. Or actually, no, 1 tube in a hand, and in his other hand, he's holding what appears to be, I guess, like, it's a fistful of sharp objects. Like caltrops, basically.
Trap. Asmo sees that and immediately backs up.
Yeah, it didn't see you because you're invisible.
Asmo puts out his hand behind him because he knows Wolfgang's behind him and tries to aim for his stomach and push him back too.
Wolfgang is able to see you, so doesn't bump into you, but Denier does bump into Wolfgang.
I keep pushing him back.
Start going back.
Asmo whispers, if you can.
He's gonna blow up, and everything in his hand's gonna go everywhere. He's the trap.
Is there anyone near him?
Just him. But if he blows up and we're not near him, well, that's just damage to him and them. You need to hit him from a distance. Aim for the tube in his hand. I think that's what he's gonna go up with.
Unfortunately, the view from him from around the corner, he's about 10 feet away from you as you turn it.
Like he's following us?
No, he's just, like, there's no good way to get an angle on him from a distance. At least not from that side.
Okay. I assumed he was at the end of the hallway. That's why, sorry.
Sorry. As you turn, like, you're at the next stairway that leads down. And he's standing next to it. And the stairs are only 10 feet wide. Sorry, I didn't build a map for this particular encounter.
Yeah, no worries. Because...
They're meant to be thinkers.
So once you get line of sight, however, comes with a minimum of 10 feet.
Yes.
Proximity to this guy.
Maximum of 10 feet. Even if you back up against the wall, he's not very far away from you. But he can't see you.
Asmo just whispers, Denier!
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw up your mage armor.
Mage armor's already up. No, I can't put it on you. You've already got armor. I could put a wall right in front of him. Trap him in the corner.
You need to go around the corner and hit him with some fire. Aim for what he's holding in his hand. And back up the second.
And Asmo, it cannot insist.
The second you let off that fireball, you get around that corner. Do not let don't let the fire hit while you're still able to see him.
I have something that might help better.
All right.
Is there any way that I can see, if I shift my position, is there any way that I can see, like, any point in that room? Like, far enough away?
I mean, you can turn your head around the corner there and you can see where he is. You've basically traveled beneath the ship. There seems to be a series of... There's a door at the end of... Okay, so there's the stairway, and on the opposite side of the stairway is a wall with a door on it. You can also see the thick pole where the mast appears to be built out of and runs through the ship. You can tell you're kind of at the center point of the ship when you turn this corner to look at the stairway. On the opposite side is a wall with a door, and right across from your viewpoint, across the stairway, about 10 feet away, is this knoll.
Okay. Okay, so, and if I were to get him in line of sight, I would be at least 10 feet from him.
You would be at maximum 10 feet from him, yes.
Now, is there any way that I can get, say, any point in that room in view without being inside of him?
You can see the wall from where you're standing. Like the wall of the opposite side. As you make your way closer to the corner, you could start to see the side of the mast as well, but you can't see him unless you turn the corner.
Okay. And the wall that I can see, it's within about 10 feet of him?
Yeah.
I'm guessing. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to shift my position, look just a bit. The invisibility of Denier is going to drop, and I'm going to cast Shatter at 4th level with the point on the wall within 10 feet of him.
Okay.
Boy.
Shatter is a con save?
Yep.
It is a con save versus 5d8 damage, DC 17.
All right. DC 17. He fails. Got a 13. So go ahead and roll that 5d8 damage.
21 points of damage.
As this massive poof explosion goes off, you hear kind of a cackling yelp and then a thud to the ground. Followed by, like, once your own sense of hearing comes back, a subtle just like a scraping.
Scraping.
I will have my hand pointed down the hallway just in case we see him get back up.
Asmo's going to gingerly crawl towards the corner, and look around with his head to see what the scratching is.
All right. As you turn the corner, you can tell what the scratching was, and that was this creature running down the stairwell. And you see a small puddle of blood where it was standing, and many of those caltrops that it had in its hand covered in blood just on the ground at where its feet were. It escaped further into the belly of the ship. From down to the 3rd deck.
Oh, it's messed up though. It's quite messed up. Okay, that's good.
And the invisibility on both me and Asmo is still up, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Should one of us take point then, Asmo?
I come running in because I heard a noise.
Yeah, and as T-Wig jumps, makes it through that little hole opening, you hear a koosh behind you, T-Wig, as giant crocodile Doggett is trying to wiggle its head through there.
One at a time, buddy, come on!
He can't seem to slip through, just being a creature that is too large to fit.
Just hold on. I come in and do some karate moves. I go, what's going on? I heard a big explosion sound.
We found a trap. There was a knoll in there. He was set some kind of caltrop trap or something like that. I was able to hit him with a shatter spell. He fled further in.
Okay.
Wolfgang and Asmo are still invisible, so they're about to go further ahead to scout, and I suspect they're trying to weaken us down, force us to go through all these traps before we get to them, so we're easy pickings, so they're less wounded.
Gotcha.
And Denier turns to the others. After you.
He says, talking to the air. Meanwhile, Asmo and Wolfgang have already headed up. All right, go ahead and give me stealth with advantage again, guys. Those that are moving further ahead. Denier, just regular stealth if you're going to be following them?
I'm going to be following them, but at a little bit of a distance, so that I
18.
don't specifically spoil it.
Sure thing.
17.
And Asmo? Stealth with advantage.
Oh. Dun, 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 snake. Snake, snake, snake. 24.
All right. You begin making your way down the next stairwell.
Oh, yeah.
Those who want to roll perception checks to keep an eye out. That would be Wolfgang and Asmo specifically as the two people up
yeah, we're
front.
hanging back. Oh.
Here we go.
With detect magic and see invisibility.
I'll keep that in mind if there are magic traps.
18.
All right, and Asmo?
Mm. Well. 24. Yes.
All right, Asmo,
Yeah,
you're
fucking on fire tonight.
yeah, you're
I am on. Yeah, I'm waiting for this to come back really badly. I did get that nat 1 earlier, but
Don't jinx it.
as you're crawling down the stairs, you notice that one of the particular boards, you've seen these scratch marks going down every single one, but one of these boards doesn't have a scratch mark on it, almost as if it was avoided on purpose. One of the stairs is unmarked.
Asmo's just gonna lift up his hand and snap his fingers twice, like the.
Wolfgang can see you.
Yep.
Asmo's assuming Wolfgang can see him. And Asmo just points at the board and makes a claw gesture along the board, like, but then there's no, like, I'm trying to gesture. Where's the claw mark on that?
Yeah, he points at a very suspicious stair step.
Does Wolfgang understand?
Yeah, I see it.
Asmo steps over that one.
Good call.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was the right call.
Yes.
I'll lean back, step over the board with no scratch marks on it, and I'll whisper that to Denier.
Then your nods.
Yeah, you step over that particular board. On the other side, you can see that it's raised up a little bit. There appear you can see kind of a gap between the wood and what's beneath, and it looks as though there is. It's definitely a pressure plate of some sort. Again, you can smell more black powder.
Yeah, Denier tells T-Wig and Doggood to not step on the step with no claw marks.
Okay.
As you make it to the bottom of this stairwell, that smell of kerosene is much thicker, and you actually see kind of you see a glow of a light from around the corner, and you actually hear the chuckling of these gnolls from down the I mean, you can see the glow from either the left or the right side of this particular I guess I'll call it a U-shaped embankment, because you can travel down the left hallway to get to where they are, or you can travel down the right. But you can hear them chittering and doing their hyena giggles to each other. But the smell is thick with this kerosene.
Thick with kerosene.
Do any of the walls look like slick or anything, or can we see any like fumes rising up off of the floor?
No, in fact, the floors are still pretty dry. You're not like whatever is doing this. There's got to be a lot of it.
Don't really have anything for this situation.
Yeah, this is quite precarious. This is
So the floor is covered in.
The floor appears to be bone dry.
Oh, the floor is bone dry. Okay.
Bone dry. Can't see any fumes. We can hear them laughing
Mm-hmm.
in the next room. We can't really see them right now, though.
They're obviously set up to where they've got lights, and they're going to light it as soon as we make it apparent. So we have to.
I turn to Denier. Don't you have like a weasel or something?
Denier stops, looks over at T-Wig. You are a genius. And
T-Wig, of course.
Eh.
Yeah, T-Wig, nod. I know.
All right. Watch this. Daenerys summons Eska.
Eska, you feel this magical wrap from around your neck, and like that, Eska just kind of appears, kind of encircling your neck.
Now, Eska, here's what I want you to do, little buddy.
Hmm?
I want you to go in there. I'm going to give you directions on where to go. Stay close to the wall. Try not to breathe too much. It's gonna smell weird, but I'll get you back soon. And I send Eska out, and for my action, I tap into Eska's vision and hearing, and I scout the area with Eska.
All right. Did you tell Eska to avoid the one stair?
I assume that I'm past that stair.
It's
Oh, okay. You walked
telepathic,
to the bottom there.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah,
Plus he,
Eska.
plus he has a telepathic link with it.
So
he-
you guys are directly next to Wolfgang and Asmo then.
I'm near Wolfgang and Asmo, yeah.
Okay.
And I
Eska
crouch
begins crawling along the corner toward the light that you can see emanating from the end of the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want Eska to be stealthy?
Yes, most
All right.
definitely. Which means that Eska gets to roll a stealth roll.
Yup. Do you have Eska's sheet, or do you want me to roll for it?
He just runs off of a basic weasel sheet, which I believe that he has a stealth of +5.
All right, let's roll. All right, Eska does. Not only does Eska start to crawl, but Eska kind of climbs the wall and gets on top of a beam that lines down the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Crawls on top of this beam to get a better look at what's on the other side, and you can see all of the tubes appear to be scattered across the ground. You're not sure what was done with this, but they are sitting on barrels. And at the very center, of this stack of barrels, is the leader of their tribe, just holding a torch. And they're all just kind of cackling.
Holding a what? You cut out.
A
for me,
torch.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
A torch. Okay.
Yeah, so it's holding a torch above all of these barrels of kerosene at the bottom deck of this ship. And they're all just kind of giggling and waiting.
Okay, and how far is Eska from that particular person?
At the very back of this hallway appears to be a massive storage area. So this is a probably 30 by 20 rectangular area. They are at the very center of that. So they are about 15 feet away from where Eska is standing.
Is there any way that Eska can get closer without being seen through the railings and everything?
Yeah, certainly. They can keep crawling across beams.
I relay the information to my team. I think I might be able to put that torch out.
Yeah, if I can get close, I can do it too.
Here's the thing. I might be able to do it through Eska.
Go for it. I trust you.
Alright, so through Eska, using Eska as a casting point, and let me know if I'm incorrect on this, I would like to cast Prestidigitation.
That is used to make fire and put it out.
To snuff out that torch.
All right. As soon as you do that, they begin chittering like mad, and one of them starts pulling out another flint and tinder in order to reignite it.
It's
Does
down.
Denier relay that to us?
Yes, it's down.
Go now,
Look, it's
now!
down.
I rush in and I Eldritch Blast. I
All right.
Eldritch Blast the one with the torch.
All right, go ahead and roll your Eldritch Blast attacks.
I am still invisible. Would I have this at advantage? The first one at least.
You'll have advantage on the first. You'll have advantage on the first. I'll give you advantage on both for catching them by surprise.
Okay, well, I'll just like Yusuke Urameshi, I'll point my finger towards the knoll with the torch and fire 2 Eldritch Blasts out.
All right.
20.
All right, 20, that hits. And second one.
Second one is 16.
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
The funniest part about that is you got a nat 1 on the other side, so yeah, but the 16 is exactly the AC, so you hit on both of those.
Oh
well,
my god!
I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the page because this fucking keeps happening to me.
All right, roll the damage of your Eldritch Blasts.
I just want to roll physical dice sometime, man. Fucking.
It's pretty nice.
Wow.
All right, Eldritch Blast. First shot's gonna be 10 force damage.
All right. The greens, the white glow blasts forth from your spirit gun, and bam, pelts this hyena lady right in the shoulder. She lets out a cackling yelp as the second one blasts forth and does
5 force damage,
pelting them directly in the same arm. Their teeth just kind of snarl together. The rest of you can get a surprise round in as well.
Bonus action.
Oh, bonus action.
Gunslinger.
Alright. You pull forth your mighty firearm.
Pow. 19.
19 hits.
Nice.
10 piercing damage.
As Requiem blasts forth, their teeth grit together as they let out a but as they do that, the bullet from Requiem pierces straight through their front incisors, smashing them as a spatter of blood spits across the side of the wall.
First blood.
Do we all get it, or
each of you gets a surprise round on this crew.
I am going to. Is the one that's trying to light the flint and tinder still up? Because the one with the torch is down, right?
The one with the torch is still up.
Oh, that one's still up. So
yeah, that one was trying to reignite the torch itself.
Wasn't that the one that Wolfgang was going for, though?
Yeah, they're not dead.
Oh, they're not dead. Okay. I thought they were dead.
Okay.
No, they just had a bunch of their teeth blasted out.
I'm going to cast bees on them.
Just every time it gets me.
All right, con save on the leader that had the torch. Let's see. Natural 1. All right, those bees come zooming forth and start stinging her all over her face and snout. She drops the torch.
It's just like bees with the Oprah gif.
Yeah, she drops the torch and it goes clattering between all of the barrels at her feet.
We don't have a map, but she will move north if there is something north of her.
It doesn't really matter which direction. As she starts to move, she was on top of a pile of barrels. She falls on her ass backwards and starts stumbling, trying to roll and get these bees off her. She also takes that additional 7 points of poison damage.
And I'm gonna step aside for Crocodile Dogud to go in and have some
Dogud
fun.
is still stuck on the upper deck trying to wiggle his way in.
You got another kind of lizard about to jump in there because Asma's gonna run in now.
All right,
now, which one is okay? The one that is most injured.
The one rolling around, writhing in bees.
Yes, it's about to get coup de grace here. Asmo is gonna. Asmo jumps in, does like a for flavor, jumps out with Kabuto, and slams right down on the creature. 21.
All right, as you leap over the barrels and you slam Kabuto down, go ahead and roll your damage for Kabuto.
6 piercing plus 1 cold.
All right. You slam it down into one side of her chest, just kind of pinning her to the ground as its swollen face can't even open its eyes, as you can see the bees swarming all over its face, like Nicolas Cage in The Wicker Man, just thrashing about. This is clearly this creature's worst day
honestly,
ever.
best comedic performance I've ever seen.
All right.
To this day, not topped.
You can see them still gritting their mostly broken teeth as they're trying to break free.
Asmo pulls out Fire Ant and is going to slam down. Natural 20.
Oh my God.
Natural 20.
Oh my god.
And I'm going to go for non-fire damage.
Good call.
6 + 1.
All right. And as you slam Fire Ant down, how do you want to kill this creature?
Oh, this is straight up just going to be a headshot. Just end it quick. I don't want it's suffering. It is suffering a lot. Let's end this quick.
You lift Fire Ant over your head as you pull out Kabuto and slam it straight down into the creature's forehead. Its muscles tense for a moment and then go slack as the other gnolls begin to back the fuck away.
From the other room, a hail of magic missiles fire through the room from the other side of the room towards those gnolls.
All right, you fire them down the other hallway.
Yep.
How many magic missiles do you use?
I'm going to cast it at 3rd level, which means that's going to be 5 magic missiles.
All right. There are currently 4 gnolls remaining.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Is there one that you would have any preference for, or do you just want me to divide them amongst the...
We just killed the leader, right?
You killed their leader. There is still one that is very heavily damaged, and then 3 others that are healthy.
2 undamaged, 3 on the others.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the damage on each of those. The first 2 will be on the damaged one.
6 on the damage gnoll.
Okay. Now roll for the other ones.
And then 3, 4, and 2 on the others.
Okay. So as these balls of force come streaking around the other side, all of their attention is toward the hallway that you jumped out of and Wolfgang jumped out of. As these orbs swoosh by, they're bam, pelting one in the chest. One gets hit directly in the... I mean, if it's a male, it's probably not going to be having offspring. But 2 of them spin around and collide on the opposite sides of the temple of the one whose hand was bleeding, and his head just cracks in like a melon. And it crumples to the ground. The remaining gnolls kind of like shuffle to the ground, clutching their wounds as they just submit to fealty.
Asmo just points. Go!
They begin just scrambling, mad dash around the other hallway, running upstairs, and from the other side of the wall, you hear boom.
Asmo just smiles.
A couple of them chitter, scatter up the stairwell, and from outside you just hear the subtle sound, or from the very top you hear.
Uh-oh.
No, they forgot.
Dokkan was up the stairs.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? So was that 1 floorboard, and
I want to believe it cuts to the explosion every time Asmo drops out. I think that was there too.
Yeah, one of them was killed by their own trap, and you're not really sure what that thudding was, but it's probably not a good thing. As you guys make your way back up the ship, this trap now completely dissolved. You see one of them cowering at the bottom of, just kind of like cowering against this burnt off piece of ship that has fallen from the top deck. It's missing part of its arm as Doggett is trying to claw its way. The giant crocodile Doggett is trying to claw its way in, his teeth still meshed with the fur of one of the other gnolls.
hot damn! Doggett is doing well.
Yeah, the remaining singular gnoll is just terrified, petrified of the situation it's in.
Well, everybody's doing that. Daenerys will loot.
All right. Go ahead and roll a survival check, and I will give you all the stuff between...
You broke up a little bit, Lani.
Yeah, roll a survival check on all these guys. I'll give you the loot that you found from these things' corpses in between this session and next one.
Good
because you've essentially eviscerated this entire party of gnolls as your ship begins to make its way toward the island and your next test.
Oh boy.
Next
Shock and
time
awe, baby.
on Roll With Me.